Hey, welcome back to the Mindy Show. I hope you're all doing well. Now, you're probably thinking, has this guy got these nice cars and he only got one top? I've seen him wear that same freaking top for the last 4 or 5 episodes. Well, guess what? I bought 16 of these. Now, just kidding. So I'm recording my podcast today. I'm kind of batch recording them, right? So because I get them done that way. Okay, so today I want to talk about something really powerful. So my mentor, Bob Proctor, you probably know that I was mentored by Bob Proctor, and you probably know that I'm one of his top 1% coaches in the world. Just want to drop that in, right, casually. So I remember Bob was saying, like, you know, the beliefs that we have, we pass them on to our kids, and it's our responsibility to undo the damage that we've done. Bob was talking about a lady that she used to come to some of his seminars in England. And she brought her son along. Now, I think at this point, her son was like about 18 years old. And she said to her son, I need you to do something for me. I need you to come to this seminar. I need you to do this for me because I've done something to you that I'm so sorry about. I didn't know I'm just paraphrasing what was said, right? That I need you to come because I've done something that I need to undo. And it's affecting you. It was around money. So she started to come to Bob Proctor's events. And because she knew that she'd passed on some crap to her son. So our money beliefs, guess where they end up? With our offspring. Offspring? With our kids. What's offspring? That's like sheep, isn't it? A spring lamb. But anyway, we're going off topic now, right? So if you look at this, right, we pass on our beliefs to our children. When we talk about money, how we talk about money, how we use money, how we spend money, how we treat money, our kids are watching. Now, you probably can remember some of the conversations that your parents or your guardians, your grandparents had around money. There's not enough to go by. Be careful, right? Save money for a rainy day. Where do you think the money grows on trees? You know, what do you think I made up money? Think of all the things that you heard your parents talking about around money. Now, you may say, well, you know what? It didn't really affect me. But you know what? You might not see it consciously that it's affected you. But unconsciously, it affects us, right? A lot of people have some issues around money, but they're not even sure that they're there. And I had a lot. So I remember Bob used to say, like, you know, it's your responsibility as an adult, if you got kids, to teach them about money. And I'm like, fucking hell. So I was young. I still am young. 2 young kids, right? When I started working with Bob, I think my son was about 5 or 6 about that time. My daughter was about 4. And I started to make some money. I actually started to attract money. I started to really listen to Bob, and my income started to fucking shoot up like record levels. I used to earn about $2,500 a month. And then I began earning like 10K months. And I remember on this one particular day, my first ever 10K month was actually a 9K day. My first 10K month was a 9K day. I actually made £9,000 in one day. How did I do that? Free clients. I used to charge $3,000 at that time. You know, I enrolled 3 people into my coaching in one day, and I made $9,000 cash. And I remember my 2 young kids, right? I'm like, I've got this money in my hands, big wad of cash like that. And I was living with my parents, and my mum and dad were sitting on the sofa, and I'm like, I want to do something fun. I got this money. I thought to myself, you know, I need to start to program my kids and get them accustomed to having money. Start to having positive conversations around money. Let them see lots of money. So even when I used to get some money land in my account, I'd get like 1,000 or 10, you know, 5,000 in my account, 2,000 in my account. I'd say, look, there's 200,000 in there. I'd quickly whip the phone out and show them. And they're like, wow, 200,000. There's like a 10 grand lands in there. Look, I just made £1 million. And so I'm conditioning my kids with like money so easy to make. And money flows, we attract money. So what I started doing every single night, I would get this wad of cash out, and I'll take the elastic bands off, and I'll say, look, do you want to have a money shower? They were like, money shower, what's a money shower? And what I'd do, I'd literally get this money, and I would just whoop it in the air, and I'd like make it rain money. And I remember the look on my parents' face. My parents don't listen to my podcast, so I can say it. I remember the look on it. If any of my family or relatives are watching this, do not tell my parents I said this, right? Kind of come for you, right? So I remember the look on my parents' face, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you teaching them kids? Because I was always taught, like, if you had a good day in business or you made a bit of money, you should never talk about it because you might jinx yourself. You ever had that? You shouldn't talk about success because you might jinx yourself. What the fuck? I'm like, if I can't talk about success, what can I talk about? If it's such a bad thing to talk about success or how much money I've made on a transaction, I might have brought something for like $100 and sold it for 300. I don't talk about it. You might jinx yourself. I'm like, fuck. And for many years, I'd stop talk. I wouldn't even talk to anybody about money. I was so uncomfortable with it, and I didn't realize. And so my kids would like get this money, wads of money, and throw it up in the air, everywhere, and it'd go everywhere in the sky. And we'd do this for like about fucking 2 or 3 hours. You think it's going to be 5 minutes, and this was over and over, and we never got bored of it. And as they were doing it, I knew that I was conditioning my kid's subconscious mind with money, right? What do you think? It doesn't rain money, does it? You to ask my kids. My kids used to come to my seminars, and they were young. They'd introduce me on the mic, and I'd get the mic. I said, Danny, Naden, where does money grow on? And they say trees, with their like missing teeth and that, trees. And people are looking at me like, wow, that's so cool. Because money does grow on trees, right? It comes from trees. And so I would get them conditioned with money. And at the end of the evening, what I do, I teach them to respect money. So what I said, right, get all the 10s together, get the 20s together, and get the 50s together and the 5s, and pile them up facing the right way around. Get them in elastic bands. I'd get them to even start counting. So I started teaching them how to count money. So to get the like 10s, 20s, 50s, and next day, guess what? We do the same thing again. Yeah, because I want to eradicate all subconscious beliefs, because the first few years they were born, there was always a lack of money, right? Or the bills need paying, and got money for this, ain't got money for that. The car's broken down, ain't got money. And I know they had all of this stuff going on. Even though the kids, you may not think that they actually understand, but they consciously may not understand about what's going on. But subconsciously, they're in their emotional mind, they are gathering programs, data around money. And when they get older, guess who suffers with the lack of money? Because they don't really understand it. They've been programmed, conditioned for lack all their lives. And when they get into the real world, they have a real issue around money. And this happens, this is going back generations. I know in my family, it goes back generations, from my parents, my dad, my granddad, great-granddad, and their money beliefs are passed down to generation to generation. And we're the fuckers that end up with the pain. We're the ones that have to suffer. So we want to make sure that our future generations do not suffer. So we want to eradicate a poor mindset, poverty mindset, and start to plant abundance. So what can you start doing? What can you actually start doing now to start to, you might have kids that are 18, 20. What can you start doing about money? About speaking about money? How can you start educating them about money? Maybe you want to share this podcast with them. Maybe you want to share this podcast with someone who has young children that may benefit from understanding like the benefits or not the benefits or what's the other word opposite to benefits? I don't know, the downside, the downturn of not understanding money and how it affects us. Okay, because I'm teaching my kids now about, they've got a total different concept about money. But money's everywhere. You know, the more service we render, the more money we have. You know, money's good. How many times will you talk about, you know, money's the root of all evil, and you catch yourself telling your kids that? Think about, write this down. Write down 10 things, negative ideas that you have spoken about to your kids about money consistently. All right, it's a recession out there. We've got to be careful what we spend. Okay, if you think that you've got to be careful what you spend, you don't need to verbalize that, but they can start to hear it. So start to write down 10 things that you have spoken about either today, yesterday, 2 years ago, or you've spoken about openly, negative aspects around money, around your family, not just your kids. And then you say to yourself, I'm never going to talk about that again. I'm going to eradicate that from my vocabulary. I said that perfectly, vocabulary. Right? So I just said that. So yeah. So I want you to say, I'm never, ever going to talk about this again. So that is one thing that you can do to stop conditioning yourself with money. But not only that, write down 10 opposite things to those negative ideas. Write down 10, it might be 5 ideas on the positive side, and start talking more about that. You know what? There's abundance everywhere. You know, rich people are good. It's good to have money. It's good to understand money. You know, it's good to talk about money. It's good to like develop a good positive relationship with money, because with money, we can do good things. Instead of like, you know, rich people are crooks. They must have like trodden on someone to get to where they are. You know, you've got to scam someone to make so much money. All of these rich people, they don't care about anybody else. They only care about themselves and their own pockets. Listen, I give away so much because I've always wanted to give, right? Even when I did have a lot of money, I used to give a little bit, right? But now I just love giving. You know, like last year, am I telling you this is a brag? No. Last year, I probably donated probably about 120, 150,000 pounds of my money. Why? Because I can, because I understand that, you know what? I want to show people that, you know, money's good. It helps people. Because I donate to food banks. I'll be doing it again this year, right? I love doing that because money's good, and I want people to understand that. When I'm driving around and about in my cars and I'll see a parent with the kid's smiling with his teeth and, hey, it's a nice car. I will try to do my best if I can pull up safely, and I've done this many times, and I say to the parent, does your child want to sit in the car? Would you like to sit in the car? And the parents are so like happy because, you know, they're so excited to see the nice car. And so I get the little kid, I say, take a picture. And this happens all the time at supermarkets, because I want to show these kids that, you know what, wealthy people ain't cunts. They ain't horrible people. They are good people, and they share. So I want to program that into these young children at a very young age. I want to show them, you know what, they'll remember that guy pulled up, you know, when I was a little kid, and he let me sit in that car. Okay, so I want people to know this. When I was 8 years old, I remember somebody promised me a drive in a Porsche. The next day didn't even turn up. Said I was going to turn up, and that broke my heart. So for many, many years, I thought, you know what, rich people are scum. People that drive Porsches are bums. You know, they make fake promises to kids, but they don't do it. So I do this for people. I want to share that. Okay, so if you're listening to me right now and you've got success, share it. I'm not telling you to give away like loads of money, but if you've got a nice car and somebody admires it, don't, you know, little kids walking past and pointing at the car, just give them a little wave. Just give them a little thumbs up. You know, just that little thing can make a difference in the kid's eyes. Okay, because, you know, a kid has an emotional mind, and you can really upset a kid and they'll hold on to it for a long, long time. They'll remember, because their subconscious mind's wide open and they get emotionally attached to something. Now, if we're not careful, right, we're passing on lots of shit to our children, right? We're like, really, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for. What's it called? We're really like messing them up, right? It'll come to me. I'll probably put it in the comments or something if I can. But we're really like sabotaging. That's the word I'm looking for. Sabotaging their minds around success, right? Sabotaging their ideas, like, you know, their concepts. Okay, we're like infecting. That's the word I was looking for. We're infecting their minds that rich people are scum. So do that exercise. 5 things that you speak about that you shouldn't speak about to your kids, and start thinking about 5 things opposite to that you can start speaking about money, right? So remember, your money beliefs end up with your future generation. So let's cull it right now, right? So I'll see you on the next one.